So in this video I wanted to put together or show you how to assemble the square stacking boxes. Now with the hexagon and the octagon stacking boxes, there were 2 boxes, but with this square set there's actually 3. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to put the medium box together. I've already done the large one and the small one. They all go together in exactly the same way. So if I show you how to put one together, then obviously that covers all 3 of them. The only way they differ is that with the small box you get an extra die. Because when I get them manufactured I kind of nest them all inside each other. And so then I can infill the panels for the small box. Now I haven't used the decorative panels in my box today. I've used the this die, which is the equivalent, you know, that you get in the other 2 sizes. So I've decided to cut pattern paper out of my small box. I'll just show you here. So that's what I've done. So I've cut pattern paper on mine. But if I wanted to do a decorative panel to put on the outside, I would just infill with this die, cut these 2 together, and then that would give me the decorative panel to go on my small. With the small box you get the decorative panel, but with the medium box and the large box you can cut, because you get the layer die, so you can cut pattern paper for those. I'll show you what I've done for the large box. Here's my large box. I didn't actually have enough of this pattern paper to do the lid as well as the base. This is a really large box. As you can see, this base is 8 by 8. So you're going to be using a lot of your nested dies to complete these boxes. So there's the small one and the large one. So we're going to make the medium one to complete our stack. And the thing that I've introduced into my 3D projects is utilising nesting dies for your lids, your bases, or basically layering. Because for instance, now these are the ones. Let me show you. These are the only ones from the 8 by 8 nested squares that you're not using, that which is 4 inches and down. So everything from up above 4 inches, so we're talking 4.5 up to 8 inches. Every single one of these dies gets used at least once to complete your stacking boxes. Obviously, it makes sense to utilise stacking die, nesting dies, because otherwise I would have to put this amount of dies into this kit. And that would be far too expensive to produce. So this is something that I've been doing for a little while now. In fact, it could possibly be, oh, it's a good 18 months, if not longer. It was since I did the Fabergé egg set, the octagon egg set. So I've done an octagon set that utilises octagon nested dies. I've done 2 sets of the hexagon 3D projects that use the hexagon nested dies, and now I'm doing the squares. So in this collection, this is the stacking boxes, but you'll see there is a heart-shaped bag, gift bag, and there's actually a tall square gift bag that I'll be making as well. So going back to having the decorative panel for the small box. Now you might think, oh, that's a shame that we haven't got decorative panels for all 3. Obviously it makes it cheaper for you because, you know, they're nested inside each other when they're manufactured. But what it means is you can break out your pattern papers, because I don't know about you, but I am a bit reluctant to use some of the pattern papers that I have. I always want to save them for a special project or a special person, and I've kind of convinced myself that that's got to stop. Now, the sides of these boxes, these are quite big open areas. These are perfect for featuring your pattern papers, because if you put your special pattern papers on the front of a card, very often you layer them up with, you know, your toppers and your sentiments and things like that, and a lot of it gets covered over again. The sides of your boxes is perfect for your you know, your specialty pattern papers, because it really showcases them in nice big areas. So I think that's great. And in fact, like I say, well, my stacking set today, I'm not using the decorative panels with the small box. I will have some samples using that though. But for the particular set that I'm putting together today, what I've done is I've taken a load of coordinating pattern papers from the same paper pack. So I know they all coordinate. I'm using 4 different types of papers, but they all coordinate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using some of my Bloomin' Handsome dies to add some decoration to further tie the kind of colours together. So you'll see that towards the end. Okay, so what you'll find is if you're cutting the big box, that's this one, that's your base and that's your lid, and then obviously every panel has got its layering die for cutting your pattern paper. Okay, now those utilize these outside 3, so it's the biggest box, so it uses these 3. I'll show you actually. Now the largest die is the base. That is, oh, I'm getting tangled. That's your 8-inch die. So that forms your base. If I flip my box over, the next die down, which is the 7.5, that's what forms my lid. And then the 7-inch, that forms the layer for your lid. Now you want a layer for your lids because then it will tie in with the layers that you put on the side panels. So you want to be doing that. Okay, so those 3 largest nesting dies, those are for your large box. So you're getting a good idea of just how big that box is. Okay, your medium size box, let's move the large ones out of the way. Your medium one, that's the one that we're doing today. That uses the next 3 down. So the bottom of the box will be 6.5. The lid of the box will be 6. And then the panel for the top of my box will be 5.5. Now for my small box, I've only got 2. That is because the bottom is 5.5. So that's the one we use for the layer on our medium box. So I'll move those 2 out of the way. Okay, so for the small box, the base is 5.5. The lid is 5. And the panel for the top of the box is 4.5. There, see? Okay, let me give you a little peek. Look, I made some Foameron flowers using my Bloomin' Handsome dies. So that's going to be the decoration when the box is finished. And if you're wondering where the colours came from, the pattern paper I'm going to be using in the middle box is there. So I picked out some Foameron that matched the colours of the middle box, and those will tie it all together. Okay. So I'll move those out of the way. Okay, so these are the pieces for the middle box. So from now on, I'm just going to be discussing the middle box because that's the one I'm putting together. But like I say, they all go together the same way. Okay, so my nesting dies. Now you always want 2 for your base or your lid. Now, the reason for that is your tabs are going to be sandwiched in between the two, and you want a little bit of rigidity in your base and your lid, really. So I've got two of my largest die. Now the medium die, which is your lid, again you want 2 layers. It hides the tabs in between the 2 layers and adds some rigidity. So you have one on the outside and one on the inside. And then that's my layering piece to go on the top of my lid. So those are my nested dies. Now our side panels. So it's a square box, so we're going to want 4 of each. So this is the base side panel, and this is the pattern paper layer. Okay, now I've done 4. I've glued the rest together, so I'll do that one in a moment. So we've got 4 of those. For the lid, we're doing the same. So I've already put 3 together. So you want to cut 4 of your side panel of your lid and 1 of your pattern paper. And I'll put the last one together in a moment. Now, the important bit for this collection is lining your box. Now, I like using very heavyweight cardstock for my projects. This isn't very heavyweight. I think this cardstock is about 250. I normally like using something 300 and at least 300 upwards, ideally 330, 350. I have used 250 GSM here, and when I was putting it together, sometimes I'll line my boxes with, you know, papers. I mean, these papers, these are probably a good 150, 160 GSM, and sometimes that's enough for lining a box. But in this case, because there's only 4 sides, it really needed more strength. So I've duplicated my side panels. Right, so I've cut 4 again of the lid side panels and the base side panels. Now that's because these are 250, it really needed that strength. So those are the pieces we've got. So we've basically cut our side panels 8 times and pattern paper 4 times. That's basically it. Okay, now let's put them away and we'll prep our pieces a little bit. Where's my scissors? Okay, so let's prep our liners first of all. Now we're cutting our side panels because we want them to be kind of full size. You could, if you wanted to, use the, this is your side panel. You could, if you wanted to, use this next size, you know, the layer die. You could use that one if you wanted to line your box. So that's another option. I've cut the side panels, but then what I do have to do, which does seem a bit silly, is I have to cut all the tabs off for my lining. So there we are, we've got all of our liners. So we can set that aside. Okay, so these are our side panels. So what you want to do is you want to fold along your score lines. Now, the long tabs are a little bit on the thin side, so I would suggest folding them just bit by bit easing it along. They're a little bit on the narrow side. Okay. And then because this is a construction project, you want to either use, when you're putting the, when you're actually constructing the box, you either want to be using wet glue or red liner tape. So in a moment, I'm going to go through and add some red liner tape to all of my panels. I put the other two, oh, I forgot to fold this one. I like to fold it before I put the side panels on because it kind of highlights the boundaries of the panel that you're trying to center up. That's okay. What was I saying? Yeah, I put the large box and the small box together with glue, wet glue. So I thought for the middle box here, I'll put it together with red liner tape. And then if there's a preference, I can kind of let you know. But I doubt there will be. Oh, I need to pop the lid layer on one of my smaller squares. Okay, so that's all the prep done. I just need to put red liner tape on my side panels. So what I will do, I'm going to use a mixture of 3mm, because that is a very tiny border up there, so that needs a 3mm tape. The rest I use a 6mm on, even though I could go much bigger. But that's what I've got out here at the moment. Okay, so let's put our pieces together. I'm going to start with the lid. So I'm going to take the pieces off my side tabs. And I'm going to put the sides together. Now what you want to do is you want to kind of cover up where the fold is. You don't want to be beside the fold, you want to be right on it. And that way we can get an accurate assembly. Again, so put that right on the fold, so when it folds it's nice and accurate. And these are really quite quick to put together after you've got all the pieces, you know, prepared, because there's only 4 sides. You'd love the static of red liner tape. Okay. Oh, I haven't put the tape on the inside. Well, what I could do actually is I could put some glue on there and then drop the inside piece in. So I've got red liner tape on the outside of the tabs, but I forgot the inside, which means I will have forgotten the base as well. So you see the difference, because when the thing is, glue, wet glue will offer you some wiggle room time, but it takes a while. You have to hold it for a little while and wait for the glue to go off. Okay, because it's the lid and it's the inside, we want the smaller size and we want the one without the liner on. And you want the neat side facing upwards, because that's the inside of your lid. Okay, I'm just going to go around all the 4 edges and press down into the glue. Yeah, don't allow it to bow out. Keep it in tight if you're using glue. See, this is the problem with using glue, that it'll move around on you for a little bit. But the downside of using red liner tape is if you don't get it in a spot on position straight away, it will not let go. Okay, so while I'm here, I think I'll put my my liners in, and I'm just going to use a bit of glue for these. So I'm just going to press down against my desk for all 4 sides, just to make sure those liners are seated well. Okay, so let's take the liner tape off here. I can see in a couple of spots the glue hasn't taken hold very well. It's just mainly that spot there. So what you can do, just get a little bit of card, put some glue on it, because otherwise you're prising it up with your fingers and you could end up buckling it. You don't want to do that. So I just want to get some glue on the underside of that panel, because in a minute I'm going to be putting more pressure from the inside and it'll push against that. Yeah, it's not too bad, it's just mainly that area there. Okay, so I'll go on my lid now. Actually, nearly forgot. Put some glue just in that middle, because we've only got the red liner tape around the outside. So just put a little bit of glue all over the lid. Okay, so I'm going to pop it over. I'm just going to go around. You just want the blunt end of something. And then all those places that you slid some glue under on the other side, adding some pressure will help that to take hold. So if you put your finger in there and run that down, you could do that, but you might run the risk of giving yourself a paper cut. I've done that so many times recently. And also, sometimes you can dig in your nail accidentally and put a slice down through the paper. Cardstock. It's just using a blunt tool's just, I mean, you can use the end of a bone folder, particularly if you've got a Teflon one, that'll be good. Okay, I think we're doing well there. So that's our lid. Okay, so we'll just do our base. So we're just going to do the same steps again. We'll take the liner off the side panels first. Okay. So that's our medium box finished. So yeah, I can't really show that on the camera very well. What I'll have to do is I will take some photographs and I will, I don't know if I can maybe tip it a little bit. There you go. So that's the 3 boxes, and then the foam on flowers, I'll add those and take some photographs and pop it in the video for you to see. But it's really quite a substantial stack of boxes, as I hope you can see, and because they're all a great size. They can all be used individually or stack them up. You know, you can, I always remember I brought a lovely gift set. I think it was from Marx's one year, and it had stacking boxes, and it had a cake in one layer, and it had some tea bags and stuff in another layer, or some biscuits. Had cake in the bottom layer, biscuits in the middle layer, and it had chocolates in the top layer. Well, that's something that you could recreate, isn't it? Or, you know, if you're giving someone, you know, different gifts for a birthday or Christmas or something, you know, you can put them in the different boxes, stack them up, and then put a nice big ribbon around, you know, especially like a wire bound ribbon, nice big bow on the top. And wouldn't that be amazing to actually have a whole stack of presents? And of course it's all, you know, homemade. When someone says, that's amazing, where did you get that? You can say, well, I made it. And that's going to make any gift extra special, regardless of what's inside. But we do need gift boxes. And I like the way that you can kind of personalise them. You can, you know, pick the papers to match the person. And then you can decorate them any way you like. So I'll pop the flowers on these and take some photographs, and then you can see the finished stack.